In example 1, we're going to go ahead and look at graphing a horizontal line. If you take a look at the boxes up on the top, we have horizontal lines and vertical lines. A horizontal line is going to be of the form y equals b, where b is going to be some number, like y equals 2, y equals 3, y equals negative 10, and so forth. Vertical lines, which will be straight up and down, those are going to have the form x equals a being any number, x equals 3, x equals 4, and so forth. So let's take a look at example 1. And what we want to do is we want to graph the equation y equals 2. And we're going to start by labeling 4 points on our graph. Well, the only thing this graph says is that the y value has to be 2. So I'm going to come to my table of values and I'm going to put a 2 in for every single y. Because according again to my equation, y has to be 2. It does not matter what x is. X can be anything you want it to be as long as it fits on our graph that's over here on the right. So if I wanted to, I could just make x 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, oops, let's fix that. Again, it could be anything that you want it to be. So now we're going to go ahead and plot those points. We have the point 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 4, 2. And if you notice, my points are all forming a straight horizontal line through the y value of 2. Now if we scroll up, the next thing we want to be able to do is state the domain and the range of our graph of y equals 2. If we think about domain, remember that domain is going to be all our possible x values. So if we take a look at all the different possible x values, that means as we go, remember this line is going to go all the way to the left and all the way to the right. Any x value that I choose, I need to be able to find a point on my graph. If I choose an x value of 8, I get a point right here. 10, I'll get a point up here. And as I continue to go down, let's say 15, I'm still going to find a point on my graph. In the negative direction, if I go to like negative 12, I will also find a point on my graph. So any x value I choose all the way down the line will get a point on my graph. That means that my domain here is all real numbers. Then if I think about the range is going to be my possible y values. So now I'm looking at all these values. If I look at the point 8, a y value of 8, will it ever touch a point on my graph? And the answer to that is no. 8 will never find a point on my graph. What about 6? 6 in either direction will never be able to have a point on that graph. The only y value that's going to have a point on my graph is 2. No other y value will find a point anywhere on that graph. So my range is y equals 2. Now what I'd like you to do is go to the try this. I want you to graph the equation, fill out the table, and then do the domain and range. You can go ahead and pause it now and unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. If you did this correctly, your y values should all be negative 8. You could have chosen anything you want for x. So maybe you did 0, 1, 2, 3. So what it should look like is you should have a straight horizontal line at a y value of negative 8. Again, you can have any points you want plotted on there. Our domain here is all real numbers, and our range is y equals negative 8. If you have any questions on horizontal lines, please let me know.